particularly, I've taken, particular interest in the Ghana Bar Association. At the conference, annual conference, this was an important topic to them. The president was there, so they needed to tell the president right there. And then recently they organized a press conference again. The Ghana Bar Association doesn't hold press conferences. Organized a press conference talking about this and corruption.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Samson. I'll just take a minute and a half to deal with some of the misconceptions that my brother here raised about the earlier topic. Now, it is very clear that the NDC fears Bawumia the most. It is very clear. From the way that they focus on him, they say that he's not a threat to them. Other people are threats to the NDC. But they keep focusing on undermining the credibility of Bawumia. In fact, their own leader, President John Mahama, is on record to have said that if the NPP wants to win the vote of Northerners, they should select Bawumia as the leader. President Mahama is on record to have said so. And he was speaking as Raleligo in the Northern region, and he said, our brother Aliyu Mahama was vice president for 8 years. I was vice president for 3.5 years. For almost 12 years, we've tasted vice presidency. It's no longer exciting. It's no longer what we want. They want to win here, they should put him in number 1 and let the two of us contest. So clearly, they have a phobia for Dr. Bawumia. And when you look at the records since Dr. Bawumia came into this prominence in the NPP, that region, the northern region, has turned NPP from a low of 4 seats out of 31 before 2012. Today, as we speak, the NPP has 16 seats in the northern region, that very region John Mahama was talking about. And the NDC has 15. So one of the strongholds of the NDC since 2012 has been broken. And I can tell you, President Mahama's statement is going to come through, that if we want to win the northern region and the other strongholds, we should bring Bawumia. And that's what that's what they are afraid of, because we don't have time. But my last point on this is that if you say Bawumia hasn't got credibility and that he's failed as an economic aspect, you have brought President Mahama, who was rejected in 2016 as a sitting president and rejected again in 2020 as your flag bearer. Now, somebody who has been rejected because of failure as president, you have brought him back. And you are going to blame somebody who is vice president.
Thank you, Nana.
Let's wait and see. Now, this galamsey, Samson, none of us is satisfied with the situation regarding galamsey. And I suspect President Akufo-Addo will be the first to tell you that he's not satisfied. But clearly, there also has been successes. It's just that the successes are not being put out as much as the failures. And you know, this fight, as we heard one of our friends on the other side say, it didn't start today. President Kufuor had a major policy thrust against galamsey. President Mahama had a major policy thrust against galamsey. In fact, President Mahama told us that he deported thousands of Chinese people. It's on record to have said so. Deported thousands of Chinese people. President Akufo-Addo had a major policy thrust against galamsey. So the political commitment has not been in much doubt. But of course, we are not happy with the results. But to say that President Akufo-Addo in particular hasn't shown commitment, it's a bit unfair, because the evidence clearly, this is a man who, one of the first things he did as president was to form the task force, mobilize the army to go in there and deal with the matter, set up a ministerial task force under Frimpong Boateng. He said that even if he lost the elections, he was going to put it on the line and he was going to fight against galamsey. He's on record to have said so. And we saw the actions that he did, you know, in pursuit of that. Clearly, we need new thinking and new strategies. because all the efforts that we've been doing from President Kufuor, President Mahama, up to now, seem not to be working to our satisfaction. But to blame one leader is not fair, because we've all seen what President Akufo-Addo has been doing. And indeed, like you said, because of the fight that he put up against galamsey in his first term, in the next election in 2020, we lost virtually all the galamsey endemic areas. That accounts to the huge drop that we saw in the numbers of the parliamentary seats for the NPP and in the presidential vote. But you see, we don't even have the unity in fighting this. Look at the NDC. When they were in office, they were telling us how keen they were on fighting galamsey, and we were told that they deported thousands of Chinese. But when they were in opposition, you saw them going around the galamsey areas and telling the people that when you vote for us, we would give you land to do galamsey. This is the man who will be appointed
to do galamsey, regularize or galamsey. It's the same thing you have been talking about, regularization.
Samson, when we are telling people who are doing galamsey that when they vote for you, the people are already doing the galamsey.
You help them to regularize their business, which is what this government has sought to do.
No.
Your community.
No. Play the video.
Your community.
No, play the video. He didn't say, the video that I'm talking about.
The community.
Can I finish? The one that the executive, you know what's his name? Kweku Boahene. He said that, look, these people are worrying you. When we come, if you vote for us, this is the man who will be appointed.
Small-scale mining is
This is the man who will be in the office. And he will give you land so you can do galamsey. President Mahama himself, he told galamsey people, said that, look, when I come, the people who have been arrested, I will release them.
They are not in yet.
See, but
at least they are not in yet. You are in control.
But I'm saying that the unity that we need as a nation is even lacking. So when you go and tell people this, and the people then vote against the government, like they did, how are we going to have a united front in fighting galamsey? But like I'm saying, none of us, and look, it's on record that a national women organizer of the NPP had her stuff destroyed. And you remember when the government had a policy that equipment found on the site should be destroyed on site. We're even having problems. So I'm saying that
that doesn't make an ounce of sense.
But you can see the commitment.
It wasn't the law.
So, but I'm not saying that it makes, I'm saying you can see the commitment. You may disagree with the method, but you will not disagree with the commitment. So if we give the impression that the political will is not there, that would be a bit unfair. But going forward, we need new thinking. Look, some people have suggested that every area in this country falls under the jurisdiction of a DCE or an MCE.
Right.
They are the closest.
That's the Imani approach.
Okay. That's the closest government structure to the ground. Make the district police commander, the district chief executive of MCE directly responsible, so that if evidence of galamsey is found, immediately you know, and put it there as one of their KPI. That for me is new thinking. It has to be a national effort.
I've roasted DCEs here in the studio just recently who have been overwhelmed, where police chiefs, where they live, their houses, the galamsey is going on right there. And then they help to fight the galamsey only for the police to turn the story around against them.
Against the DC?
Yes, against the people who are trying to fight it.
But, okay, so if you, the DC, are made responsible, you shouldn't be allowed to use the police as an excuse. If the police twat you, that is the mandate you've been given. Make sure that you report the conduct to the highest level and to the nation. Because we can't keep doing it the way we've been doing it. We have a task force since Kufuor's time, to Mahama's time, Akufo-Addo's time. We are still not satisfied. It seems to be going on still. We need new thinking. But we also need a concerted effort. When you have a situation where people go and take political advantage like the NDC has done, it undermines the efforts to fight galamsey. Going forward,
when you get an example, and I think sometimes internal party action or discipline will speak a lot to the people. When you have an example where the state itself, through the ministry, gave out
Ministry of Mines,
lands and forestry, gave out natural resources, gave out what's the name, Chairman Wuntumin's company. Can't you, in your internal processes, discipline such a person without waiting for a court to take action?
You know, in this country, mining in forest reserves is allowed. I am against it, but it's allowed. You see, so those are some of the things that we should be looking at going forward. Because when you say this is a forest reserve, it means that the people who own that land, they cannot go in and farm even cassava. It's a reserve. It's restricted. They can't go in and farm for yam. So how do you allow miners to go in when people can't go and farm cassava? So that's one of the things that I
And when they go in there and the ministry indicts them in written statements to the public, then the president is the one who takes the podium and tells us that, that kind of job is no more going on there. He's no more doing it.
Well, I think the president was asked, if what I saw is what is the actual, he was asked a direct question, that these people are mining in an area where it should be reserved. And he said that as far as he is concerned, there was no activity like that as he was speaking. That's what I heard. If there's any other thing, but that's what I heard. But you see, my conclusion is that the commitment has been shown at the political level, from Akufo to Mahama to even though Mahama undermined his own commitment by going to tell people that when I come, I'll release people who have been jailed for galamsey. But the resolve has been there. The political resolve has been there. But the results that we want has not been as we wanted. So for me, we should be looking at new thinking, new fresh thinking to fight this.